So I kind of want to talk first about my first water cut, or well, I wouldn't even consider it that, but my first cut for a powerlifting meet, which was in December 2021, was my first meet. So the way this went was I was walking around probably like 135, closer to 140 sometimes, and I was competing in 132. So I wait and I like just don't deal with my weight until I'm like 5 days out, 6 days out from weigh-ins. So say I'm getting weighed in on Friday. Sunday I'm weighing in at 140. Okay, so that's a huge problem, especially when I'm 8 pounds over and I don't know how to properly cut. So don't do this. Listen, all right, so I wasn't eating. I was hardly drinking. I cut out food, I think Wednesday it was that week. And the whole entire time in between, I was just going to the gym. I was getting on the treadmill. I was wrapping myself up. I had saran wrap all over myself. And I was just walking on an incline, like cutting weight, sweating. And I was like, okay, yeah, if I don't drink water, I won't put weight on. Like, I was just thinking, yeah, who needs water anyway? So I'm sitting here. I'm cutting all this weight, blah, blah, blah. 5 days, I'm on the treadmill. And then after the treadmill, I did the car sauna because my gym sauna, it doesn't work, or like it's closed down or whatever because someone left it on and it almost burnt the place down. But anyway, so I'm sitting in my car then after I do my cardio, probably about an hour and a half of cardio. I still have my bags on, so I'm sweating, like the heat's trapped in my body. And I have the heat blasting, okay? Now, in my car, it's dry heat. It's not like, there's no humidity. So it's just all dry heat blasting me. And I would stay in the car, right, in the gym parking lot. Like, this is a great idea for if you want to get seriously hurt and have nobody find you or, like, pass out in a hot car. So keep in mind, this is in, like, the winter. And I just have my heat fully blasted. I'm sitting in my car. And I'm getting so dried up, okay? So I'd come home. This is, like, about 2 hours total of about, like, cutting at the gym. Like I said, doing the cardio on the incline and then just wrapping up and then sitting in the car. So I would come home. I'd take the saran wrapper bags off, whatever I'm wearing. Puddles and puddles of sweat, okay? Now, you think it's done? No. No. So after that, I would like blast the heat in the bathtub and I'd put up some salt in. And then I would sit in the bathtub for like whatever, like an hour, 2 hours. I'd get out and like all the steam would be there. So I'd start doing sit-ups, okay? So if you have any knowledge of like powerlifting or strength sports at all, you don't want to do cardio right before you go to a meet. You don't really want to be doing anything, as a matter of fact. Some people train right up to meets. But anyway, like me personally, nowadays, I don't like to do anything before meets. So I'm sitting in this bathroom, dude. I'm doing like an insane amount of cardio. I'm doing an insane amount of exercise, and this is doing everything I shouldn't be, okay? So, like I said, I cut out food. It was like Wednesday, I had weigh-ins Friday. I also cut out water, like either Thursday morning or Wednesday night. I'm not really sure. So, this whole time, as you can imagine, I'm just depleted, okay? And I'm like, I feel like shit. I feel like I'm going to die. I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is working. Scale's going down. So it's like whatever, one day out, and I'm like, I was probably like a pound over, or like half a pound over a day out. It's like I said, I'd be 132. And I'm like a pound over. I'm sitting here looking at the scale, dude. I'm just like, after doing water cutting, it's just, so I'm looking at the scale, and my vision's like, ooh, it's like all like woozy and stuff. And I'm like, this is after like I was cutting all night. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is too good in respect to health. But, yeah, so I'm looking at this scale, and I'm like, okay, I might actually croak here. So, like I said, I would highly recommend against this, especially if you don't have somebody with you. The whole entire time, I was, like, pretty much by myself, unless I was in the gym. I was in the bathtub by myself. I didn't have anybody in there with me to, like, kind of, like, check on me if I died or something. Or, like, just, like, kind of, like, fell over and had a heat stroke. It was, like, really dangerous. So anyway, I make weight, and to this day, it was the worst performance of my life. Like, I think in training, it doesn't help that I peaked like 10 weeks out too, but in training, I had about a 900 total, and in meet, I might have totaled 738. This is my first meet. So this is definitely what you want to avoid while cutting, okay? And when you think about it this way, so I cut like a little, it was probably like 8% of my body weight in about 5 days, which is like brutal, and would very strongly advise against it. Okay, so all the weight's gone. I weigh in. I'm 130.5 at the competition. I compete, dude. I went 3 for 9. I had like the worst day of my life competing wise, and I was just like, nothing was working. I missed my squat opener. I missed my bench opener. I got my second attempts on both, and then I missed my thirds on squat and bench. Then I got my deadlift opener, and I missed my second and third attempt on deadlift, all because I didn't know how to cut properly at the time. And I was kind of like thinking, like in my head, like, oh yeah, this is what this is what the MMA fighters do, this is what the wrestlers do. This is gonna work for me, because why not? So yeah, pretty much, that is what you do not want to do. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into like what you should be doing if you do want to cut weight. So like I said, it was about, I'll put some pictures on the screen of like me, like before and after, because like I'm done cutting for this competition. Face is like sunken in. So like I said, face was just sunken in. Yeah, it was not good. So, and after like rehydrating, I guess you could say, and like just eating, I might have went back up to 135, which is like under what I was anyway. So now on to the right way to do it. So you might have heard of this term in like MMA, like, combat sports, maybe powerlifting too, but it's called water loading, okay? And it's pretty much, it is what it sounds. So I know a lot of other powerlifters, or like, athletes in general for weight class sports, they do water cutting, or they do water loading on top of water cutting. So I just want to explain how I did it and how it worked for me. So I started water cutting. All right, so I'm going to explain what water cutting is first. So you get about like 6 of these, okay? 6 gallons. All right, now you're going to get weighed in on Friday, okay? So saying you're going to get weighed in on a Friday. Now, throughout the week, you want to have probably like 6, 7, 8 of these. It really depends on your body weight. So as for this next meet, I'm going to talk about my water cut a little bit. So like 10 days out, I'm 173. I'm competing at 165. So I need to get down to 165, obviously, right? So I decided I'd do water loading, because this meet that I was going to was kind of like a tune-up before nationals. Like, it wasn't that serious. So I was like, you know what, whatever. If I don't make weight, I don't make weight. So I start water loading. It's a Sunday. I deficit my way down like in 3 days, probably. It was like a Thursday I started deficiting. Sunday morning, I'm 169. So I'm about 4 pounds over where I need to be, right? So to start water cutting, what I did, I had, like I said, a bunch of these, just drinking them. So day 1, I had 1 gallon. Usually I drink about a gallon a day regardless. Sometimes less, sometimes like 0.8. But Sunday I had 1 gallon, okay? And plus like 2 bottles maybe. So I had that from noon on. Now what I was doing was around 3-4 hours before bedtime, I cut out food, because I'm a big eater before bed. So Sunday night I cut out food probably like 10 p.m., 9 p.m., okay? So then I had my water, I had whatever else I needed for the day, and I'm just pissing. So when you're doing water loading, your body suppresses like a hormone called vasopressin, which essentially tells your body to hold on to water, okay? So you're drinking all this water, okay, and the science behind it is you're just peeing profusely, okay? I'm in the bathroom like once every 20 minutes, just pissing, okay? So day 1, gallon of water. I'll put a chart up here, because it's going to be like a little bit different for me, like a 170-pound male versus like a 120-pound female. Or like, for example, like a 230-pound male, whatever. So I'll put a chart up what I did. I didn't do any sodium loading prior. I noticed that's a thing that a lot of people do, is like they sodium load. I didn't do any of that. So Monday, I'm starting to watch my sodium and carbs a little bit. I'm still eating like pretty close to normal. Like my diet is like probably, I'm eating 80% of what I normally do. So it's like a little bit of a cutback. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired, but it's nothing like too crazy. I'm still eating for the most part regular. Monday, I have 1.5 gallons. Tuesday, I have 2 gallons. Wednesday, I have 2.5 gallons. And then Thursday, I have as close to 3 gallons as I can. I had 2 gallons and then probably like 4 or 5 bottles of water that day. Now, by Tuesday, you are going to be pissing every 15 minutes, okay? So luckily for me, I have a job where like it doesn't matter if I go to the bathroom like a lot, because I was. It's like every 15, 20 minutes, sometimes half hour, I'm going to the bathroom, I'm peeing. And I'm peeing like a lot too. So I kept track of this. I'll put a chart of my weight loss up on the screen, or like I just keep it on my notes app. That's how I keep track of my weight. I'll just put a chart up so you guys can see like day by day what I was losing, because like off the top of my head, I don't know. So I got from when I started 169 all the way down to like 161 prior to weigh-ins. So I'm like 161 and some change, like 161.6, 4 pounds under where I need to be. And for the most part, I felt fine. The only thing was, Thursday night, I didn't eat anything from like 8 on. I just stopped eating at about 8. I had my last meal around 7. Then Friday morning, I just had sips of water. I wasn't drinking that much water. I was under, but I still didn't want to like take the chance. So I'm not drinking that much water. Friday, I drove to weigh-ins. I got weighed in. I was 161.8 or whatever in kg. I was like 73.4 kilograms. Like I said, this is a very easy process. Now, it might sound contradictory, like, oh, if I drink water, I'm going to gain weight. Well, when you're cutting back on this carbs and sodium, you're not going to gain much weight. You're just going to be pissing it out. So, like I said, start dropping your sodium and your carbs. I would say about like 10% a day from Monday on. Just start dropping the sodium, dropping the carbs, okay? Now, you're not going to have any carbs in your system. You're going to feel like a little bit depleted, honestly. Like, you're going to feel like kind of like, eh. You're not going to feel the best, but you're definitely not going to feel like you would if you cut, I don't know, 10 pounds running on a treadmill. So this will work if you don't have like an adverse weight cut to do, like 10 pounds, 4 or 5% of your body weight, you know, depending on what you weigh. So the rule of thumb is about 2 gallons or 2 liters per 20 pounds of body weight, okay? So for me, like 165, 170, it's about 8 liters a day. Now, like I said, that's like, you could do what I did. Like I said, I'm not going to overcomplicate it, but like I said, as long as you are starting out with a gallon and just working your way up to as much water as you could possibly drink a day out, you will be fine. If you cut back your sodium and carbs gradually day by day, you will be fine. If you stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bedtime every night, a week before weigh-ins, 5 days before weigh-ins, you will be fine. This will work. Now, it seems contradictory, I know, because like I thought it was like, I didn't know any of the science behind it at first, but I was doing like a lot of research on it, and I actually found that, yeah, it does work, and there was no like real performance drop. So I went to compete. I missed my last squat because of depth. That was on me. It was 407, and that was, my max is 411 right now. So I was literally like right on the doorstep of my max with squat. I failed my last bench. It was 253. It would have been a PR all time. It would have been a 3-pound PR, and the only thing that the water cut I think affected for me was my bench. And then I hit an all-time PR in deadlift. I hit 578. This should go without saying, but this is not a good long-term approach to weight loss, nor is it sustainable, because I basically went back up to 170 a couple hours after I got weighed in, and I was competing. I was weighing in around 170 as well. Also, down below is going to be a link to my merch and my other socials. So if you want to reach out to me for me to make you a water cutting program, you're not sure how to do it, and you want someone who knows what they're doing to do yours for you, feel free to reach out on Instagram or whatever other socials I have on there. This video is brought to you because you are trying to cut water. I wish you the best of luck. Please don't be like me in the first half of the video, and please do everything safely. Thanks, guys.